The bottle shattered against the brick wall inches from Isaiah's head, shards exploding like brittle accusations in the dim glow of the Chicago alley. "Faggot!" The slur tore from the attacker's lips, laced with the venom of a lifetime's unexamined hate, as his fist connected with Isaiah's jaw, sending stars bursting across his vision. In that instant, sprawled on the rain-slicked pavement with blood tasting like copper pennies and regret, Isaiah realized the truth he'd buried deeper than his orphan scars. Survival meant facing the ghosts of who he was and who had left him behind before they claimed him entirely. Isaiah Washington had always been a boy built from fragments. Dropped at the steps of St. Agnes Orphanage on a frigid February night in 2003, wrapped in a threadbare blanket with nothing but a scribbled note pinned to his chest. "Take care of him. His name is Isaiah." Father, unknown. He'd grown up piecing together a life from hand-me-downs and half-truths. The nuns at St. Agnes called him a miracle, a dark-skinned cherub with wide hazel eyes that seemed to hold the weight of unspoken sorrows. But Isaiah knew better. He was a secret someone had tried to erase. Chicago's South Side was no fairy tale for foster kids like him. Bounced between homes that smelled of stale cigarettes and simmering resentment, he learned early to keep his head down, his questions locked away. By high school, at Englewood Community, he was the quiet kid in oversized hoodies, excelling in English Lit because stories let him escape the ache of not belonging. Teachers praised his essays on Baldwin and Hughes, sensing the fire beneath his reserve, but none knew the real story, the dreams where a faceless man reached for him, only to vanish into smoke. Coming out was never a choice. It was a fracture. At 19, freshman year at Northwestern, Isaiah kissed a boy named Marcus in the stacks of the university library, their breaths mingling over dog-eared copies of Giovanni's Room. Felt like coming home, electric and terrifying, until Marcus pulled away, whispering, "This can't work. My family's too conservative." The rejection stung, but it was the whispers that followed through dorm halls, frat parties, the campus queer alliance meetings that carved deeper. "That orphan kid? Yeah, he's one of those." Isaiah armored himself with pride flags and poetry slams, but the isolation gnawed, a reminder that love, for him, was always laced with loss. That alley attack in his junior year changed everything. It was Pride Month, the streets alive with rainbows and rebellion, when a group of drunk frat boys cornered him after a rally. The beating left him with a fractured cheekbone and stitches that pulled like accusations every time he smiled. In the ER, as a nurse dabbed antiseptic on his wounds, Isaiah's phone buzzed with a forwarded email from St. Agnes. Sister Mary, the nun who'd rocked him through colic, had passed away, leaving behind a sealed envelope marked, "For Isaiah, on your 21st. Inside was the note from his infancy, yellowed and crisp, and a faded Polaroid. A young man in his 20s, handsome with sharp cheekbones and a hesitant smile, cradling a newborn. On the back, in shaky script, Nathan Hale. Last known, New York. Forgive me. Forgive him. The word ignited something feral in Isaiah. For years, he'd romanticized his abandonment as a cosmic mistake. But this was deliberate erasure. Nathan Hale. The name echoed like a curse. Late nights blurred into feverish Google searches. Nathan Hale Enterprises, a midtown Manhattan powerhouse in sustainable tech, founded by a visionary CEO who'd risen from nothing to Forbes 30 under 30. Photos showed a Silver Fox executive in tailored suits, his hazel eyes, Isaiah's eyes, staring out from boardroom glossies. The resemblance was a gut punch. But revenge wasn't Isaiah's style. Reclamation was. Buried in the envelope was a clipping from a queer youth initiative, the Hale Foundation's Out and Up internship program, aimed at LGBTQ plus college seniors from underserved backgrounds. Empowering the next generation to build bridges, not walls, the tagline read. Irony tasted bitter as Isaiah applied. His personal statement a raw confessional. The orphanage shadows, the alley blood, the kiss that cracked him open. I've spent my life chasing echoes, he wrote. This internship is my chance to amplify my own voice. Acceptance came via email on a drizzly April morning, his dorm room smelling of instant ramen and unresolved grief. Dear Isaiah, we're thrilled to welcome you to Hale Enterprises for the summer. CEO Nathan Hale personally reviews all Out and Up candidates. The words swam before his eyes. Personally. As if fate hadn't twisted the knife deep enough. New York hit like a fever dream. Penn Station's chaos swallowed him whole. Commuters in power heels and backpacks, the metallic tang of hot dogs from street carts, the endless honk of yellow cabs slicing through gridlock. Isaiah hauled his duffel to a cramped Brooklyn sublet in Bed-Stuy, a brownstone walk-up shared with two other interns. Lena, a fiery Latina from LA with dreams of green energy patents, and Theo, a soft-spoken white kid from rural Ohio whose coming-out story involved a shotgun-wielding uncle. They bonded over bodega coffee and late-night rants about imposter syndrome, Theo's gentle humor a balm against Isaiah's churning doubts. Hale Enterprises occupied floors 45 to 50 of the Helix Tower, a spiraling glass behemoth in Midtown that pierced the skyline like a defiant middle finger to doubt. Isaiah's first day dawned humid, the subway ride a gauntlet of cologne and crumpled Metro cards. In the lobby, a digital waterfall murmured corporate platitudes, innovation flows here, while security badges beeped like heartbeats. Up on 47, the Out and Up bullpen buzzed, ergonomic desks clustered around beanbag lounges, walls papered in rainbow murals and success stories. His mentor, a no-nonsense queer woman named Riley with a buzz cut and tattooed wrists, handed him a tablet. You're on market research for our urban sustainability push. Dive in, kid. And remember, vulnerability is your superpower here. Isaiah nodded, palms slick, as the elevator dinged open to the executive floor for orientation. And there he was, Nathan Hale, in the flesh. Taller than the photos suggested, with salt and pepper hair cropped close and a jawline softened by time. He commanded the conference room like a conductor mid-symphony. Welcome, interns. Nathan's voice boomed, warm baritone laced with that East Coast clip Isaiah had only heard in movies. At Hale, we don't just build tech, we build futures. Yours included. His gaze swept the room, lingering a beat too long on Isaiah. Or had it, heart hammering. Isaiah gripped his folder, the Polaroid burning a hole in his pocket. The weeks blurred into a rhythm of spreadsheets and stolen glances. By day, Isaiah crunched data on solar microgrids for low-income neighborhoods, his reports earning Riley's gruff, "Not bad. Rookie." Evenings dissolved into Brooklyn bar crawls with Lena and Theo, where cheap IPAs loosened tongues and Theo's knee brushed Isaiah's under the table, a spark neither acknowledged yet. But the real current ran through stolen moments at the office. Nathan's office door ajar during late shifts, the CEO hunched over blueprints, sleeves rolled to reveal forearms veined like rivers. Isaiah told himself it was curiosity, not hunger, that drew him closer. One humid Thursday, as thunder rumbled over the Hudson, Isaiah knocked on that door with a flash drive of revisions. Mr. Hale, the Urban Report, I think I found a glitch in the equity projections. Nathan looked up, Wearier than usual, tie loosened like a confession. Call me Nathan. And come in, Isaiah. I've been meaning to chat. The office smelled of leather and bergamot cologne. Floor-to-ceiling windows framing the storm-lashed city. Nathan gestured to the couch. His eyes, those damn eyes, searching. Your essay. It moved me. The part about abandonment. It's raw. Personal. Isaiah's throat tightened, the air thick as the rain lashing the glass. Yeah. My story. A pause. Electric. Grew up without a dad. Makes you wonder what you'd say if you met him. Nathan's face flickered. Regret? Recognition. Before he masked it with a nod. I get that. Lost my own way young. Fathered a kid once. In a life I wasn't ready for. Left him at an orphanage. Biggest regret of my life. The words hung. A bridge or a bomb. Isaiah's pulse thundered. What was his name? Nathan leaned forward, voice cracking like thunder. Isaiah. Just like you. The room spun, the storm outside mirroring the one inside. Betrayal bloomed hot and immediate. This man, this titan, had known, had reviewed his application, read his pain, and said nothing. Isaiah bolted, the flash drive clattering to the floor, leaving Nathan's plea, wait, swallowed by the gale. Isaiah didn't sleep that night. Curled on his lumpy futon in bed Stewie, the city's nocturnal symphony, sirens wailing, bass thumping from the bodega below, mocked his unraveling. The Polaroid lay on his chest like a talisman turned toxic. Nathan's younger face smiling obliviously at the baby he'd discarded. How long had he known? The application process spanned months. Nathan's signature was on every form. He'd invited Isaiah into his empire, mentored from afar, all while the truth festered unspoken. It wasn't just abandonment, it was a second erasure, polished with corporate gloss. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving, coffee bitter on his tongue as he dragged himself to the subway. Theo texted, rough night? Beers later. Isaiah typed sure, deleted it, typed can't. Vulnerability, Riley had said, was a superpower. Bullshit. This was a curse. At Helix Tower, he ghosted the bullpen, burying himself in data visualizations until Lena dragged him to the rooftop lounge for fresh air. The view stretched to the hazy Atlantic, ferries dotting the water like discarded thoughts. You look like you saw a ghost, Lena said, lighting a cigarette despite the no-smoking signs. Her eyeliner was smudged from a late-night hackathon, but her gaze was sharp. Isaiah cracked, the dam bursting in a rush of sobs that left him hollowed. He spilled it all, the orphanage drop, the alley blood, the Polaroid bombshell. Lena listened, arm around his shoulders, until the tears ebbed. That man's a coward, she spat. But you're not. Confront him, Isaiah, or it'll eat you alive. Theo found him later in the archive room, surrounded by dusty binders of Hale's founding docs. The Ohio boy's freckles stood out against his flush, concern etching lines on his boyish face. Heard from Lena. Shit, man. You okay? Okay was a lie Isaiah couldn't sell. Instead, he leaned into Theo's hug, the embrace tentative at first, then fierce bodies aligning like puzzle pieces long separated. Theo's scent was clean, like fresh laundry and faint citrus, an anchor in the storm. I'm here, Theo murmured, lips brushing Isaiah's temple. It wasn't a kiss, not yet, but the promise hummed between them, warm against the cold knot of betrayal. Nathan cornered him that afternoon in the executive kitchenette, microwaves humming like judgmental ants. Isaiah, we need to talk. The CEO's suit hung looser, as if the revelation had shed pounds overnight. Isaiah's fists clenched around his water bottle. Talk? You mean confess? How long? Nathan? Since the interview? The essay? Nathan's face crumpled, the Titan reduced to a man with trembling hands. 3 months. Your photo. The name. Panicked. Thought you'd hate me. You were right. Isaiah's voice was steel, honed on years of foster rejections. You left me in a box on a doorstep. No note beyond a name. And now, you dangle internships like pity prizes. Nathan reached out, then dropped his hand. It wasn't pity. Pride. You were brilliant, reminded me of the kid I could have been if I'd fought harder. I was 22, scared shitless. My family. They were old money, homophobes who would have disowned me for a black baby out of wedlock. I chose survival over fatherhood. Cowardly, yeah. But I built this, for kids like you. Isaiah laughed, bitter as black coffee. For me? Or to assuage your guilt? He stormed out, the elevator descent a freefall mirroring his gut. Back in the bullpen, Riley pulled him aside. Heard whispers. CEO's kid? Damn. But don't let it derail you. Your report's gold. Pitching it to the board tomorrow. Isaiah nodded numbly, but inside, resolve hardened. He'd finish the internship, excel on his terms, then vanish like Nathan once had. No bridges burned, just salt sown in the ruins. The pitch meeting was a blur of PowerPoints and polite applause. Isaiah stood at the podium, voice steady as he outlined equity gaps in urban solar adoption. Sustainability isn't just panels on rooftops. It's power in the hands of those the grid forgot. Nathan watched from the head table, eyes glistening, but Isaiah avoided them, focusing on Lena's thumbs up and Theo's quiet nod. Afterward, in the hallway, a board member clapped his back. Hail blood runs strong. The words a slap. Nathan's secret wasn't secret anymore. That evening, Theo waited outside Helix with 2 helmets and a borrowed Vespa. Escape plan, he grinned, handing one over. They zipped through Manhattan's veins, down Broadway's neon canyons, past the pulsing lights of Times Square, until the city thinned into the Brooklyn Bridge's Gothic span. Parked midway, wind whipping their jackets, Theo turned to him. You're not alone in this, Isaiah. My uncle. He chased me out with a rifle when I told him about my first boyfriend. Family's messy. But we choose our own. Isaiah's chest ached, the bridge's cables humming like heartstrings. And if mine's a liar? Theo's hand found his, fingers interlacing with a gentleness that undid him. Then we build better. The kiss came naturally, tentative lips meeting under sodium lamps, tasting of salt and possibility. Theo's mouth was soft, exploratory, hands cupping Isaiah's face as if he were porcelain. Heat bloomed low in Isaiah's belly, chasing away the chill. They made out until fogged breath obscured the skyline, the world narrowing to touches and whispers. Back in bed Stewie, tangled in Theo's sheets, bodies moving with the urgency of the newly found, Isaiah let go. Theo was all lean muscle and freckled skin, gasps punctuating the rhythm of hips and heartbeats. Stay, Theo murmured post-climax, arm draped possessively. Isaiah did, for the first time feeling whole, not haunted. But dawn brought reality, a voicemail from Nathan. Please, son. Dinner. My place. Let's try. Son. The word was a hook in his ribs. Isaiah deleted it, but the pull lingered. Weeks compressed into a montage of stolen intimacies and simmering rage. Theo became his compass. Lazy Sundays at Smorgasburg devouring lobster rolls. Midnight runs along the East River where they debate queer icons from Audre Lorde to Lil Nas X. At work, Isaiah's star rose. Riley tapped him for a client pitch to NYC's Housing Authority, his foster kid grit infusing the slides with urgency. Nathan hovered at the edges, emails laced with apologies. I was wrong. Let me make it right. Met with Isaiah's silence. The fracture widened at the Out and Up Gala, a glittering affair in the Rainbow Room atop Rockefeller Center. Fairy lights twinkled against Art Deco golds, champagne flutes clinking like fragile truces. Isaiah arrived in a borrowed slim-fit blazer, Theo at his side in chinos and a button-down that hugged his swimmer's build. They danced to a jazz quartet, bodies swaying close, Theo's breath hot on his neck. Love you in Navy, Theo teased, nipping his earlobe. Isaiah laughed, free for a moment, until Nathan approached, glass in hand. Elena Hale, his poised wife, a civil rights attorney at his elbow. Isaiah, Nathan said, voice thick. You look proud. Elena's eyes narrowed, sharp as her briefs. We've heard the rumors. Is it true? The air thickened, the quartet's saxophone wailing like a warning. Isaiah's jaw set. True? That your husband's the deadbeat who ditched his kid? Yeah. Gasps rippled. Heads turned. Nathan paled. Not here. Please. But Isaiah was done with please. Why not? You built your empire on secrets. Time to air them out. Theo's hand squeezed his, grounding, as Elena's face twisted in betrayal. You knew, Nathan, all these years. The CO deflated, whispering, I wanted to protect him, from us, from this life. Lies, all of it. Isaiah pulled Theo toward the exit, the crowd parting like the Red Sea. In the elevator, tears came hot and unbidden. I'm sorry, he choked. Theo kissed his forehead. Don't be. You're brave as hell. Outside, rain slicked the plaza, Art Deco spires blurring. Theo hailed a cab, but Isaiah paused, staring up at the tower. Betrayal burned, but so did something fiercer, the will to claim his name, his narrative. Fuck him, Isaiah muttered, stepping into the downpour. But as the cab pulled away, Nathan's silhouette appeared in the lobby doors, unmoving, a ghost in the glow. The fallout from the gala was a media maelstrom wrapped in corporate spin. By Monday, the New York Times ran a discreet piece. Hale Enterprises CEO's family secret rocks sustainability giant, fueled by anonymous board leaks. Stock dipped 2%, but Nathan's statement, a masterclass in deflection, framed it as a personal reconciliation journey. Isaiah, holed up in bed Stewie with Theo's arms as his bunker, fielded calls from reporters posing as old classmates. No comment, he growled into the void, deleting voicemails like digital exorcisms. Work became a minefield. Riley reassigned him to a remote project. Lay low, kid. But the whispers followed. Pitying glances in the break room. Lena's fierce loyalty clashing with Theo's quiet worry. Their relationship deepened in the cracks. A refuge of movie marathons, moonlight on repeat, and rooftop picnics where Theo sketched Isaiah's profile in charcoal, capturing the curve of his jaw, the haunted depth in his eyes. You're my muse, Theo said one twilight, lips brushing collarbone. Sex evolved from frantic release to tender worship, slow explorations by candlelight, Theo's fingers tracing orphanage scars on Isaiah's ribs, whispering affirmations like prayers. But Nathan wouldn't fade. Flowers arrived at the sublet. Lilies, ostentatious and scent-heavy, tagged, "From your father." "Please." Isaiah trashed them, petals bruising like his resolve. Then the letter, handwritten on monogram stationery. I was a boy terrified of my own shadow. Coming out in the 90s meant AIDS wards and act-up riots. Fathering you with your mother. A summer fling at a jazz fest terrified me more. She begged me to keep you. I chose flight. Every solar panel we install is penance. But nothing redeems abandoning my son. Meet me. One chance. Enclosed. A key to a Central Park row house. Neutral ground. Isaiah burned it in the sink. Flames licking the edges as Theo watched. Silent. You don't have to, Theo said later. Bodies entwined. But if you do, I'm there. The offer cracked something. Isaiah clung tighter, their lovemaking a defiant rhythm against the ache. Orgasm left him spent, tears soaking Theo's chest. What if he's right? What if I need this poison out? The meeting was set for Saturday, noon, under the Bethesda fountain. Angels weeping into the lake. Fitting. Isaiah arrived early, hoodie up against a crisp fall bite, leaves crunching like brittle bones. Theo waited on a bench, sketching rowers on the water, his presence a shield. Nathan emerged from the ramble path, casual in jeans and a Barber jacket, looking every inch the Hamptons weekend dad. No Elena. The rift ran deep, tabloids whispering divorce filings. Son. Nathan's voice broke on the word, eyes red-rimmed. Isaiah flinched. Don't. Just talk. They walked the loop, tourists oblivious, Nathan spilling a lifetime in halting bursts. The 90s. A Columbia econ major, closeted and crumbling under family expectations. The fling with Aisha, Isaiah's mother, a poet from Harlem, fierce and fleeting. The pregnancy panic, her ultimatum, his flight to an internship in London. I wired money anonymously for years to St. Agnes. Followed your grades through back channels. When the internship app came. God, Isaiah. It was like fate laughing. Fate. Isaiah halted by the boat basin, voice rising. You call reading my trauma, my coming out and staying silent fate? I got beaten half to death for being gay. Nathan. While you sipped scotch in penthouses. Nathan recoiled, face ashen. I know. I donated to the alliance that helped you after. Wanted to reach out, but Isaiah's laugh was jagged. Fear. Always fear. You built an empire on it, hiding me to protect your image. Theo stood then, slipping an arm around Isaiah's waist. Solidarity electric. Nathan's gaze flicked to the touch, softening. He's good for you. I see it. A beat. I see me in you, the drive, the fire. Let me prove it. A DNA test, if you want. Or just coffee sometime. Isaiah searched those eyes, mirrors of his own, and found not malice, but a chasm of regret. Maybe, he said, the word a concession. But on my terms. As they parted, Nathan pressed a small box into his hand. A vintage watch, engraved to my son, with time to heal. Isaiah pocketed it, the weight unfamiliar yet anchoring. Back home, the adrenaline crashed. Theo drew a bath, eucalyptus steaming the air, and they soaked together, Isaiah's back to Theo's chest, water lapping like confessions. Proud of you, Theo murmured, soaping his shoulders. Desire stirred slow, Isaiah turning to straddle him, water sloshing as their mouths met. It was languid, intimate, Theo's hands mapping every curve, Isaiah's gasps echoing off tiles. Climax built like a wave, cresting in shared shudders, afterglow spent whispering futures. Grad school for Theo in architecture, Isaiah's MFA in creative writing, a life stitched from chosen threads. But peace fractured midweek. A board email circulated. Nathan stepping down as CEO amid personal matters. Elena filing for separation, the company teetering. Whispers blamed Isaiah, the bastard son unraveling the king. Guilt gnawed. Had his outburst doomed the man who'd built bridges for thousands? Riley called him in. This is bigger than you. But your work is saving the program. Don't quit now. Isaiah didn't. He threw himself into the housing pitch, collaborating with Theo on visualizations, sleek renders of solar-powered brownstones, equity baked in. Late nights in the office, empty save for fluorescence. They fucked on conference tables, risk heightening the thrill. Theo's mouth hot and insistent, Isaiah's nails raking his back, moans muffled against sleeves. You're my revolution, Theo panted, and Isaiah believed it. The pitch to the housing authority was in City Hall's oak-paneled chamber, aldermen in tweed eyeing them like specimens. Isaiah led, voice resonant, this isn't charity, it's justice. Black and brown neighborhoods get the scraps. Leaky roofs, brown water. Our grids flip that. Slides glowed. Theo's designs earning ooze. Handshakes followed. A $10 million contract inked on the spot. Back at Helix, champagne popped in the bullpen. Lena whooping. Riley smirking. Even Nathan appeared, sidelined but beaming. You did it, son. The word landed softer this time. Isaiah nodded, throat tight. We did. That night, Theo proposed a road trip Amtrak to D.C., crashing with queer activist friends. En route, Pennsylvania farmland blurring past. They talked legacies. Your dad's flawed, Theo said, hand on thigh. But you're not him. You're building something real. Isaiah squeezed back, heart swelling. In D.C., they marched the mall at a climate rally. Signs aloft, no justice, no planet, Theo's chance horse, Isaiah's soul alight. Hotel room after, bodies slick with sweat, lovemaking fierce under threadbare sheets. Theo inside him with a rhythm like protest drums. Forever, Theo gasped. Yeah, Isaiah breathed. Forever. Return brought reckoning. Nathan invited them to the row house, neutral ground. Elena absent. The brownstone was a time capsule. Jazz records. Aisha's poetry books on shelves. I bought them after. Nathan explained. Over takeout Thai. Walls thawed. Nathan shared stories. Isaiah's first steps in a photo album he'd hoarded. Wire transfers tracked like lifelines. I was gay. Terrified. AIDS took friends. I thought I'd curse you with that. Isaiah listened. Theo's foot nudging his under the table. Mom. She kept you? A nod. Until she passed. Cancer. Wanted you safe. Not in my mess. Tears came. Mutual. I forgive you, Isaiah whispered. Not absolution, but release. Nathan's hug was bone-crushing, paternal at last. Love you, kid. As they left, autumn leaves swirling. Theo kissed Isaiah under street lamps. That was beautiful. Isaiah smiled, unburdened. But shadows lingered boardroom coups, Elena's lawyers circling. Nathan's empire cracked, but his sons had just begun. Winter clamped down on Manhattan like a vindictive ex. Snowplows growling through canyons at dawn. Central Park a white-drenched labyrinth. Isaiah's internship morphed into a part-time fellowship. Hale footing the bill despite the board's grumbles. He and Theo sublet a cozier spot in Williamsburg, exposed brick, a fire escape for stargazing, turning it into a haven of thrifted rugs and framed Audubon prints. Mornings meant Theo's pancakes, lopsided but laced with love. Isaiah feeding him bites amid laughter and lingering kisses that escalated to countertop quickies, flour dusting skin like confetti. Nathan's dethroning unfolded in slow motion, a Shakespearean fall laced with queer undercurrents. Elena's divorce suit cited irreconcilable deceptions, tabloids feasting on the irony, the civil rights queen spurned by her closet case king. Nathan retreated to the row house, consulting remotely, his silver fox allure dimmed by whiskey nights and what-ifs. Isaiah visited weekly, their talks evolving from accusations to anecdotes. Nathan's ACT-up days, chaining to the White House gates. Isaiah's foster pranks, swapping Sister Mary's rosary beads for candy necklaces. "You got her laugh," Nathan said once, voice wistful, showing a grainy photo of Aisha mid-giggle. Theo integrated seamlessly, his architectural eye critiquing Nathan's blueprints over craft beers. "This solar array? Genius. But add community input loops." Nathan chuckled, clapping his shoulder. "Smart kid. Keep him close." Isaiah. The approval warmed. The paternal nod Isaiah hadn't known he craved. Yet tension simmered, bored vultures circling. An interim CEO, an oily quant named Hargrove, slashing out and up funding to streamline. Riley fought it, but whispers of layoffs chilled the halls. Isaiah's response was fire. He rallied interns for a petition, "Save the future we built," gaining 500 signatures in days. Lena's social media blitz viral on TikTok. Theo designed protest graphics, fists clutching solar panels, rainbows arcing over brownstones. They marched Helix's lobby, chanting "Equity now," as Hargrove sneered from his perch. Nathan joined unannounced, megaphone in hand. "This company was born from my mistakes. Let it die on my terms, not yours." The standoff trended Hail Air. Isaiah's face on CNN, his foster grit spun as millennial heroism. Victory came bittersweet. Funding restored, but Nathan ousted permanently, a golden parachute his only consolation. At the farewell roast, bullpen potluck, ribs and ribs, Nathan raised a glass. To Isaiah, the son who schooled his father. Laughter rippled. Isaiah hugged him tight, inhaling that bergamot scent now familiar, not foreign. "Proud of you, Dad." The title slipped out. Seismic. Nathan teared up. "Ditto, kid." Posthail. Isaiah dove into thesis work, a novella on queer orphanhood. Pages bleeding raw truths. Theo landed a junior role at a green firm, their evenings a blur of red lines and red wine. Romance deepened. Valentine's in the village. Theo on one knee with a vintage ring. Not marriage, not yet. Just promise. Isaiah's yes was breathless, sealed with a alleyway fuck against graffiti walls, urgent and urban. But cracks spiderwebbed, Theo's anxiety spiking over wedding talks. What if our families clash? Isaiah's nightmares of abandonment resurfacing in cold sweats. Spring thawed the city, cherry blossoms papering the high line like pink apologies. Nathan started dating, a quiet graphic novelist named Marcus, echoes of Isaiah's first kiss with tentative dinners at the row house. Isaiah approved, teasing, Better than your boardroom conquests. Laughter bridged gaps. But Elena's shadow loomed. A blistering op-ed in the Atlantic. The cost of closeted kin, excoriating Nathan's hypocrisy, implicating Isaiah as unwitting pawn. He used you for redemption PR, she wrote. Hate mail flooded Isaiah's inbox, slurs resurrecting alley ghosts. Doubt crept in, venomous. Late one night, post-submission jitters, Isaiah confronted Nathan over Zoom, screen glowing ghostly. Did you leak the gala to boost your image? Nathan's denial cracked. No. God, no. But I didn't stop it. The half-truth ignited. Always half in, half out. Isaiah logged off, slamming his laptop, Theo stirring from sleep. Talk to me, Theo urged, pulling him close. But words failed. Instead, Isaiah pushed him away, resentment spilling. You get it easy, supportive profs. Safety nets. I fight for scraps. Theo recoiled, hurt flashing. I fight too. For us. But you shut me out. The argument escalated, voices echoing off brick. Isaiah accusing Theo of naivety. Theo firing back on emotional walls. You're just like him. Running when it hurts. Doors slammed. Theo crashed on Lena's couch. Isaiah paced alone, the ring heavy on his finger. Regret a tidal pull. Reconciliation brewed in crisis. Hargrove's regime gutted sustainability initiatives. Layoffs slashing Riley's team. Isaiah, now a vocal alum, organized a union drive. Green workers rise. Theo rejoining despite the rift. His designs fueling the campaign site. Protests swelled. Union Square rallies. Snow turned to slush under marching feet. Nathan contributed anonymously, his contacts greasing labor lawyers. Amid chaos, Isaiah and Theo locked eyes across barricades, the spark reigniting. Post-rally, in a dive bar reeking of stale beer, they collided, apologies tumbling, bodies following to the bathroom stall, frantic kisses bruising lips, hands fumbling zippers. Missed you, Theo gasped. Isaiah dropping to knees on sticky tile, mouth worshipful. Release was cathartic, tears mingling with aftershocks. The drive succeeded, Hargrove out, a worker-led board installed. Victory bash at a Bushwick warehouse pulsed with electronica and equity toasts. Nathan danced awkwardly with Marcus. Isaiah and Theo grinding slow under strobes, hands possessive. Marry me for real? Theo whispered. Isaiah's nod was fierce. Hell yes, summer scorched in, internships yielding to full-time hustles. Isaiah adjunct at NYU, teaching narratives of belonging, students mirroring his scars. Theo's firm greenlit a Bed-Stuy microgrid, Isaiah consulting pro bono. Nathan proposed a family trip, Montauk, waves crashing like unresolved chords. Elena declined, but sent a letter, healing's nonlinear. Be kind to him and yourself. Isaiah pocketed it, a truce. Beach bonfires crackled, esmores sticky on fingers. Nathan shared Aisha stories, her Harlem Renaissance dreams, jazz scat sung to Isaiah's crib. She'd love this, Nathan said, arm around his son. Theo sketched the scene, capturing flames in their eyes. Later, in their rented cottage, Isaiah and Theo made love to ocean roars. Slow, sacred, Theo's thrusts deep and deliberate, Isaiah arching like a bow. Ours, Theo vowed, and Isaiah believed. Yet climax loomed. A board audit unearthed Nathan's old wire transfers, proof of long-haul guilt, but twisted by Hargrove's allies into embezzlement smears. Lawsuits flew. Nathan faced deposition hell, his empire's bones picked clean. Isaiah testified, voice steady, he provided from shadows. This love, not theft. The courtroom drama peaked in a drizzle-soaked recess. Nathan chain-smoking outside, Elena appearing unbidden. Fight for him, she told Isaiah. I didn't. Absolution came in settlement. Charges dropped. Nathan cleared, but humbled. He shuddered Hale, pivoting to a non-profit Hale legacy, mentoring queer youth. Your blueprint, he told Isaiah. Pride swelled, untainted. Fall leaves turned. Wedding plans bloomed. A loft ceremony in Soho. Aisha's poems as vows. Rehearsal dinner at the row house. Marcus's challah warm from the oven. Toasts flowed. Lena's roast on orphan kings. Riley's nod to grit. Theo's ring glinted as he pulled Isaiah aside. Ready. Kiss. Salt-lipped. Born for it. The wedding dawned crisp. October's gold gilding Soho's cast-iron facades like a benediction. Isaiah woke in Theo's arms. Their Williamsburg loft bathed in slanted light filtering through gauzy curtains. The ring on his finger white gold, etched with intertwined roots, caught the sun, a talisman against old phantoms. Downstairs, Lena banged pots in a mock reveille. Rise, grooms, brunch burritos await, laughter bubbled, chasing sleep's remnants. Over migas and mimosas, plans solidified. 50 guests. A string quartet playing Coltrane. Vows handwritten on recycled solar report paper. Nathan arrived mid-morning, arms laden with boutonnieres, wild asters, Aisha's favorite. His eyes, hazel as Isaiah's, shone with unpracticed joy. You too. It's right. Marcus hovered, camera in hand, capturing the chaos. Theo wrestling a bow tie. Isaiah's curls tamed by product and prayer. Elena's absence ached, a ghost at the feast, but her gift arrived via courier, a first edition Baldwin, inscribed to new beginnings. Love, Mom. Isaiah's throat closed. He slipped it into his pocket, beside the watch. The loft ceremony unfolded in layers of intimacy. Guests milled amid exposed beams and potted ferns, foster siblings from St. Agnes, Northwestern alums, Hale holdovers like Riley, buzzcut fierce in a pantsuit. The quartet swelled into a love supreme, Theo entering first, freckles flushed under sage green, eyes locking on Isaiah like a vow already kept. Isaiah followed, arm in Nathan's, the aisle a gauntlet of cheers. At the altar, draped in rainbow silks, Theo took his hands, whispers bridging the space. You, vows poured like rain. Theo's voice cracked on, you taught me home isn't blood, it's choice. From Ohio fields to Brooklyn nights, you're my horizon. Isaiah's followed, pen ink raw. I came fractured, alley scarred, orphan echoes. You mended me, Theo, not with pity, but presence. In your arms, I found the father I built, the love I claimed, rings exchanged, a kiss that tasted of salt and eternity. Deep, unhurried, cheers erupting like fireworks. Reception spilled into the street, food trucks hawking empanadas and jerk chicken, a DJ spinning Big Freedia into Billie Holiday. Dances blurred. Nathan twirling Isaiah in a clumsy waltz, whispering your mother's grace. Lena grinding with Riley to WAP. Theo pulling him close for a slow sway to At Last. Fireworks, legal, courtesy Marcus's permits. Crackled over cobblestones, painting faces in bursts of red and gold. Honeymoon was a road trip redux. Amtrak to New Orleans, jazz haunts and bayou rambles. They wandered French Quarter alleys, beignets sugaring lips before kisses, Theo's camera capturing Isaiah against wrought iron balconies. Eyes alight. Nights in a garden district B&B dissolved into sensuality. Theo's tongue tracing vertebrae, Isaiah's moans harmonizing with distant saxophones, bodies entwining like kudzu. Husband. Theo tested post-climax. The word a revelation. Isaiah grinned. Yeah. Husband. Return thrust them into rhythms refined. Theo's microgrid project broke ground in Bed-Stuy. Isaiah's adjunct gig blooming into a book deal. Echoes unsilenced. Memoir meets manifesto. Nathan thrived at Hale Legacy. His first cohort including a trans kid from the Bronx. Echoes of Isaiah's fire. Visits became ritual. Sunday suppers at the row house. Marcus's matzo ball soup a staple. Stories swapping like heirlooms. But life, American as apple pie and unrest, tested. A foster reform bill stalled in Albany. Isaiah testifying in sweat-soaked suits. Theo's signs at his side. Nathan lobbied quietly, his old Rolodex gold. Victory. Modest funding boosts. Celebrated with rooftop toasts. City lights winking approval. Personal storms brewed too. Theo's firm crunching under recession whispers. Isaiah's manuscript edits bruising ego. Fights flared, over dishes. Dreams, but cooled in bed. Apologies physical. Theo's hands kneading tension. Isaiah's mouth a peace offering. Reconciliation in the arch of backs. Anniversary one hit in a blizzard. Snow blanketing the bridge like forgiveness. They retraced steps, Vespa swapped for Ubers, ending at their spot. Hot cocoa steaming. Still, Theo asked, mittened hand in his. Isaiah nodded. Always. Love making in the cabana. Snow muffling gasps. Was reverent Theo entering slow. Eyes locked. Isaiah's legs wrapped like lifelines. After, curled under blankets, they dreamed aloud. Adoption papers. A nursery in their expanding loft. The family forged. Nathan's 60th loomed. A milestone laced with mortality. The party. A jazz club in the village. Coltrane vinyl spinning. Drew Elena. Tentative in pearls. For him, she said, hugging Isaiah. Toasts flowed. Nathan pulled them aside. You saved me, kid. Gave me this. Tears gleamed. Isaiah clasped his shoulder. We saved each other. Years layered like sedimentary rock. Theo's firm boomed. Green towers sprouting in forgotten lots. Isaiah's book hit bestseller lists. TED Talk viral. From orphan to architect of self. They adopted first a girl. Curly-haired firecracker named Aisha. Then a boy. Quiet Jamal with Nathan's eyes. Family swelled. Brunches chaotic with sippy cups and story time. Nathan as doting grandpa. Marcus baking challah braids. Conflict resurfaced in waves. Jamal's school bullying over two dads. Aisha's questions on why no mommy? But they navigated with therapy circles and community potlucks. Scars becoming strengths. Nathan's health faltered, prostate scare. Chemo gaunt. Yet he fought. Isaiah at bedside reading Baldwin aloud. Theo sketching hospital gardens for distraction. Remission rang like bells. Nathan's recovery toast. To legacies unbroken. Decade's end. A Helix anniversary. Back at Helix, now Legacy HQ. Isaiah keynote. Theo beside. Kids fidgeting in seats. We started in shadows, he said. Voice steady. But light? It's collective. Applause thundered. Nathan. Friendlier but fierce, hugged him after. My boy, dusk walk home. Family hand in hand, Brooklyn Bridge aglow. Theo squeezed Isaiah's palm. Echoes quiet now? Isaiah smiled. Aisha on shoulders. Jamal skipping. Nah. But their hours harmonized. In the quiet of their brownstone, bought from Nathan. A circle closed, they tucked kids in. Stories of jazz mamas and solar daddies. Bed claimed them. Bodies familiar as breath. Theo's weight grounding. Isaiah's sighs a symphony. Lovemaking was seasoned, knowing touches. Laughter in gasps. Climax a shared horizon. Love you, Theo murmured into pillow. To the echoes and beyond, Isaiah drifted, whole. From orphanage steps to skyline spires, he'd claimed his verse, not erased, but etched eternal. In America's vast, bruised heart, love wasn't absence's cure, but its defiant anthem.